Okay, good morning, Networking Lounge. I am super excited to be here this morning. We're running a few minutes late. It's 100% my fault. I've been struggling to get Zoom and Facebook to chat a little bit this morning, but I'm here with my friend Sierra. Thank you so much for coming, Sierra, for being here this morning. I know you're busy.
No, thank you for even inviting me on. I'm super excited to be able to hopefully add some value to everyone in the networking lounge. And I love everything that you do, Kempa, with your roofing company and just your brand and your personality. So I'm just glad that we can collaborate on this.
No, I love it. And that's what I think is kind of interesting about you and I is, so for anybody that doesn't know, Sierra actually owns a trucking company. So we're both kind of women in a man's world in our primary original businesses, right? And so that's fun. I really loved that about you. And kind of going in a rabbit hole here, but for anybody that doesn't know, she like knows about the truck. She drives the trucks and knows everything to do with the business. And I loved your video that you did about that a while back. That was really cool to see.
Oh yeah, I spent a lot of time because I don't actually have like my CDL, so I don't drive on the road or things like that. But when you are in this type of business, you need to know how everything operates. You need to know what your drivers are going through. And I actually spent a period of time on the road with my fiance when we were first transitioned to Dallas. So I lived that life, so a lot of people are very surprised when they see, I could drive an 18-wheeler truck.
Yeah, because you're just so pretty. People just don't, I mean, I think that's the thing. So on top of that, Sierra has absolutely mastered the business credit game, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to bring her in here. Of course, she's also a social media genius, marketing genius. You work with getting business owners capital, also helping them get business credit, but primarily today, I wanted to just share with the networking lounge here a little bit about you and your story, Sierra, and then maybe a little bit about how you learned about business credit. And then if you wouldn't mind just sharing a few things with people in here about how business credit could benefit them, and then a little bit on how they could go about starting doing that. That's going to kind of be the outline for our video today. So thank you so much, you guys who are joining us live. If you are here with us live, let us know in the comments. If you catch a replay, let us know that you caught the replay in the comments. We definitely want to make sure that as many people in the group are able to see this video as possible because it's going to be a game changer. So Sierra, how did you start? Like when it's your husband now, right?
We're fiance.
Okay, so you and your fiance start this trucking company. Was it through the trucking company that you realized that, hey, we could do a lot more if we had some credit?
Yeah, absolutely it was, because if you know anything about the trucking industry, the overhead is extremely high and the turnover rate is extremely high. And the reason for that is because most of these truck drivers, owner operators, they are operating on their own cash. And you never know when a truck is going to break down. You never know when you're going to need some new tires. I don't know if you've seen 18-wheeler tires, but they cost, $400 or $500 each. So when you're operating on your own cash, it gets very difficult. We were running into that problem. We were making a lot of money, but we were also spending a lot of our own money. And so we had to learn how to build business credit, and logistics is a high risk business. So I kind of learned everything the hard way. And so, which is why I try to simplify it and really set other businesses up from the beginning to be more successful when it comes to their business credit journey. Because I had to bump my head a lot of times. But just being able to utilize OPM or other people's money really helped us grow our trucking company in a way that we wouldn't have been able to before.
Which is so amazing, so amazing. So let's go into that just a little bit. So what, for any industry out there, could you just give us a few things so using other people's money, but what else are some benefits of being able to have business credit? And kind of a two-part question, can you explain to people the difference between business credit and personal credit?
Yeah, definitely. So personal credit is going to be credit that is affecting your consumer credit report. So you're using your social security number. When you go and check your Experian or your Equifax, right? Everything that comes up is based on you. So you have that personal liability for that debt. So business credit is going to be different because now this is credit in your business name. A business entity is similar to like an individual or a person, right? So it has its own credit file and its own credit report. So business credit is going to be credit using your EIN, and your EIN is acting like a social security number for your business entity. So you're building up credit, you're getting, credit cards, vendor accounts, different types of retail credit cards through your business. So it's not going to show up on your personal credit report. So that's actually one of the main benefits, because, on your personal credit, there's so many different factors that play a role in your score. You have your utilization, you have your credit mix, your credit age. There's probably like 5 or 6 different factors that play a huge role that you have to keep track of. On business credit, it's amazing because the main factor is just really how well you pay your bills. That payment history is going to be huge. And so you can now actually utilize your entire credit profile, because on the personal credit side, like I said, utilization is huge. You can only use up to about 30% before your score starts to really be affected negatively. On business credit, that doesn't play a role. So now you can use all the credit that you have to really grow your business.
Which is amazing. So you're saying that if we take out a credit card in our business, or we buy or lease a car in the business, okay? Because I know that's something that I see you talk about on TikTok a lot, is lease a car in your business, and on Facebook, But so when we do these things using our EIN, our personal credit, we're not extending that debt to income ratio that's going to prevent us from maybe buying a house using our personal credit and things like that down the road. We're kind of able to keep a beautiful separation of business and personal, even though we're the owner of the business and we always have some liability in the company. We're able to keep a distinct separation between our personal finances, liability, other people's money that we're using in credit, and then to what we're using for our business. And I think that's so important for people to understand. And I love how freely that you share that with everybody. So is that's what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's huge, especially with that debt to income ratio. Like you said, if you're going to go and try to buy a house and get a mortgage, those things play a role, and you don't want your business to have to affect you negatively. And another thing, like you said, you mentioned getting like the car in your business name, or the car lease in your business name, or business credit cards. One thing though that I do want you guys to keep in mind is that a lot of times you'll go to a big bank like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and you'll go open that business bank account with your EIN, and they'll present you with this awesome credit card offer. Also keep in mind that not all credit cards are going to be true business credit. Some of them are going to be based on your personal credit. They'll still report to your personal credit. So you want to be careful when you are applying for different business credit cards, to make sure that that lender or that bank is going to be reporting to your business credit and not your personal.
So let's talk a little bit, Sierra, about how we get started with this, right? So you have an EIN, and like your personal, just like when you first get your social security card, or you turn 18 and you're old enough to kind of start messing that up, because that's the first thing people do, is just screw their credit up tremendously, unless you had a mentor or a parent or something that kind of helped. I know for me, the first thing I did was like tank my credit, because I just didn't know how to utilize it or how it worked. And so that's what I want to try. And I know that you can save some of these business owners from doing that. I'm a new business owner. I just got an EIN. Am I just going to come in and tank it like I'm 18 years old again? And so, yeah, so that's a really interesting like degree of separation that people are able to utilize and keep up with there. So what are some ways that we could start in a positive way to kind of start to build up that EIN, so that you can start to get approved for things using that without having to personally back it with your personal credit? Because sometimes they want a personal guarantor, right? Kind of, so you use your social or your EIN, and then it's kind of backed with your personal credit. And so how do you usually tell your clients to go about, like, step one, let's get you some positive stuff going with just your EIN, so you don't have to personally back it anymore?
Yeah, so the first step, and it's going to sound very trivial, but it's extremely, extremely important, because it's a step that most small businesses miss. So when you are applying for any type of business credit, a loan, a line of credit, your application is going to be your first impression on that vendor, on that creditor, on that lender. And so you want to appear to be a lot larger and a lot more experienced than what you may be. So you may be a small business, you might be a solopreneur, it might just be you and your team, but you need to appear like you are a much larger company. So you need to make sure that you have a business address, not using your home address. So if you don't have an office space, go and get a virtual mailbox so that it looks like you have an office space. Go and get a separate phone number for your business, that professional email address with your own domain. It sounds very simple, but like I said, sometimes, especially as entrepreneurs, we jump into this new business venture. We're so excited to start making money that we forget to lay the foundation. So you want to make sure that you set yourself up properly, because a step that a lot of people miss, so that you're able to get approved for that vendor credit right away, because you can start getting approved for different supply stores the first day that you open up your business.
Wow. So do you have any offhand that people could start with, even if they're small, even if they're new? Some maybe a vendor out there that does approvals easier than other people may.
Yeah, so if you go to places like Crown Office Supplies online, you can get approved right away. There is Uline, Granger. So some of these vendors that you'll get approved for, they're called Net 30 accounts. So basically what they do is you'll be able to buy that product and you have 30 days to pay off the invoice. So this is going to be the first step to really building up business credit. And some of these things may not be everyday items that you need. It might be first aid kits, paper towels, paper printers, things like that.
Yeah.
But it's a really important step to start building up that positive payment history on your report. And that's the first type of credit that you'll be able to get approved for without being a personal guarantor and without a lot of business experience.
And it doesn't really, I mean, so you're saying it's not about if you actually need the paper towels or the first aid kit, right? It's just buy it and then pay it off in 30 days, because it's this on-time payment that is affecting our business credit the absolute most. But what another beautiful thing that you kind of just said within that is that you get to get the credit and then pay it off in 30 days,
Right.
which is so magical to people, because we're not using our personal money to in my industry to float the project, and yours to float the journey, the drive, or the delivery of the truck from here to here, right? But everybody has something in their business that they're having to front out cash flow on, and they're having to wait to get paid back on. But doing the steps that you're saying actually allows you to use other people's money to make a profit and collect your profit before you have to pay it back.
Exactly. And you're using OPM, other people's money, so as you start to make money, money, that's going to pay for those expenses and those bills for you.
That is so wonderful, Sierra. So I want everybody to know, what are some different ways that you've been able to put this into not just your trucking company, because by now you've evolved past that. You have multiple different businesses. So what all businesses are you in right now?
Yeah, so of course we have the trucking, and then I do just helping small businesses get access to capital and build up their business credit. So those are my two primary businesses right now. I was in the Airbnb space, but not so much anymore. Still looking to do some real estate investing, which is, again, if you are in real estate investing, business credit is huge for you, because you get those lines at Lowe's and Home Depot, really a lifesaver for a lot of my investor clients. And then, of course, my social media platform, that's kind of like a whole job in itself.
No, it is. And so if y'all don't follow Sierra, I'm not going to ask her to go into this today because we have limited time, I know, this morning, but y'all have got to, she actually does a class on how to market your business on TikTok, which I think is really cool. And I actually wanted to jump onto your class the other day and I just couldn't make it. So your next one, I'm definitely going to jump in on, because here's something else really cool about Sierra. She's 23 years old. This literally blows my mind, because girl, I was just nowhere close to where you are at 23 years old, not just in business, but just mentally. You know what I mean? You're so driven. And I know that you have a daughter that has inspired that a lot. But I wanted to jump into, just for a second, the fact that Sierra is a 23-year-old Black business owner here in DFW. And one, I was going to say, y'all go take her TikTok class, because That's first what I wanted to get to, is that TikTok is a new platform, and it's weird for me. Like, when I was 23, I'm pretty sure we were still on MySpace, or like Facebook was barely
Right.
beginning, right? I was like almost 10 years ago. And so that's why I'm interested to learn TikTok from you, because this is a new platform, and you went in and you just mastered the game. She's already got corporate sponsorships for her social media platform, and it's been so cool to watch you grow that out. So go follow her, because I think TikTok is the next big thing for business, like Facebook has been so far. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a new platform. The algorithm is extremely generous, and it has kind of that stigma of being only for young kids, for teenagers, but you'll be very surprised the demographic of the users. So it's a great place to promote your business because people don't have to follow you in order to see your content. So like I said, the algorithms are very generous. You're able to be a little bit more creative and a little bit more free versus on being on Facebook. And then of course, just the amount of people that you can reach just by a 15-second video is mind blowing.
That's so cool. So y'all go follow her personal page, and I'm going to try to be there. I'm going to try to be there. Her next TikTok class, we should all be there together. But the last thing that I wanted to pull out of you, Sierra, because it's one of my other favorite things about you. I've been connected with you, I guess, for maybe about a year now. I want to say maybe about a year now. And so 2020 has brought across some interesting topics. We're in a pandemic. We've had a lot of race issues. Your content on race issues has been one of the most inspiring things that I've seen on the internet regarding this issue, because of your approach to it. And you're raising a beautiful little girl that's going to have to come up in this environment. So that's why I mentioned she has to be just a huge part of your inspiration, and setting that example to her on everything that Black women can grow to be. Of course, all women, all of us are powerful and special, but right now you've specifically taken this stand, and you've reached out, you've spoken out to the Black community and said, hey guys, we have to start acquiring assets. We need to own more real estate in this country.
Right.
We need to make that stand. And so if you don't mind just talking a little bit about what it's been like to be so young, a young Black entrepreneur in America, kicking ass, taking names. How has that been for you? And what would you say to other Black women looking at you right now going, wow, because there must be so many of them that are doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really appreciate you even bringing up this topic, because I know it can be difficult sometimes to have dialogue about, but I think it's extremely important to talk about this because of the fact, like you said, I am young, I am Black. And growing up, I love my mother, I love my grandmother, but I didn't necessarily have the role model to be an example of what I necessarily wanted to be, if that makes sense. Like,
I got you. Yeah.
I knew that I was always destined to be successful, destined to be great, but I didn't want to live a very average type of lifestyle. And I didn't have an example of an entrepreneur or a business owner that looked like me. And I am a huge advocate for representation matters, because it does, so really my inspiration, not only my daughter, but for other young Black girls to look at me and say, you know what, if she can do that, I can do that. I didn't have that. So that's why I'm so passionate. Sorry, I'm going to get emotional. I'm so passionate about it.
You should, because, and you're going to make me, I'm going to tear up, you're going to tear up. That's really one of the things, I definitely wanted to make sure that we hit on it during this. So of course, I want everybody to know about business credit and use your EIN and all these things. All these things matter, but a bigger picture here right now is that we have young entrepreneurs. We have young Black women who, especially right now, racism is just so talked about, so it's almost hard to get away from. And you have people that are so strong on one side or the other, but here you are just standing so confident in the middle of all of that, saying, guys, it's our responsibility to be successful.
Right.
We have to take responsibility and become successful. And other people, I know that other young women, probably of all colors, of all races, so not even just Black women, but anybody that has felt put down because of their skin color, or that they're not going to be able to be successful because of fill in the blank, right? Just because
Right.
of fill in the blank. It could be so many things. But you're saying, hey, you know what, guys, you're not too young. You're
Right.
not too Black. You're not, you're capable, you're beautiful, and you're
Right.
capable, and you're such a strong example to that, Sierra. So thank
Uh,
you, from
Thank
a
you.
mom to another mom, for being, I have a little girl, and it makes me nervous sometimes, like you said, the role models that they kind of don't have. And so I love to even just to get to be able to sit on the couch and scroll through Facebook, and I'm like, can y'all believe she's 23? Anybody want to talk about the fact I was
No.
23 out here, outdoing people that are decades older than her, and it's so inspiring. But I think it's important, because you are so successful and you're involved in a couple different industries, that people understand your why for getting up and doing this every day and building
Yeah.
so young. And it's such a special quality that you have that
Oh.
passion for this, and people need to know that about you. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And I know sometimes my views, I don't want to get political or anything, but my views are sometimes a little bit different than what most would assume.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to be vocal about that, because I strongly believe that the Black community does need to really wake up and realize that you can't wait on, a politician or, a public figure, celebrity to come and save you. You're responsible no matter what for your own destiny. And so I really wanted to make sure I'm an advocate for that. Like I said, it's especially within my culture, it can be seen as kind of like taboo a little bit to talk about, but it's very much true. And I want us to get out of that victim mindset, which is why I'm very transparent with my journey, so that people can see no matter what. When I growing up, I was taught that I always had to work twice as hard to get just what they have. And so I learned that having that mindset is very limiting, because then
Girl.
when you agree that someone is above you, you're putting yourself down. You're the person who believes that whatever you believe is true, perception is reality. So if we get out of that mindset that, all the odds are against us, there's so much that you can achieve once you break that generational curse and that mindset that you have. So that's why like I said, I try to be transparent. I know some of the things that I put on my page might be a little bit radical or whatever you want to call it, but I think it's necessary for us just to have a different perspective and to really wake up the community.
I'm telling you though, I loved you. I loved you before all the race stuff started happening. I grew a new layer of respect. And it's a little bit hard. I'm like a freckle faced white girl over here, so it's hard for me to be like, to say what you just said, and for people to not be like, well, it's easy for you to say that. Nobody
Right.
told you how to work twice as hard to get where everybody else is. And they didn't. That's true. There's a whole level of experience there that I really can't speak on because I didn't live it. But seeing you live it and still step up and say, hey guys, nobody's above us. And I guess that's the way that I view it too, is I'm like,
Right.
nobody's above you because of your skin color, because I don't think that way, but I
Right.
also wasn't taught that way. I don't have those kinds of experiences. So sometimes when I see people, like you said, limiting their self
Mhm.
because of things like skin color or religion or age or
Right.
gender or sexuality or whatever the case is, I'm kind of like, nobody's looking at you like that, but they probably are. There
Right.
probably are people out there that are, but what you have to take away from what she just said is it's important that you don't see yourself that way, that you
Mhm.
don't because if somebody else is thinking that or believing that or living in that space, that's such a them problem.
Yep.
That's, if somebody's going, hey, you can't do that much because you're Black, that's such a them problem, and it is not true to your reality or your capability. And I love you so much for being out there, just living that out loud and proving that to people. You're like, nobody's holding me back because I'm Black.
Right.
Nobody's holding me back because I'm 23, and nobody's going to hold me back because I'm a woman, because I'm not
Yeah.
going to live in that mindset and that space internally. And that's
Yeah.
what's so powerful about what you've been able to add, to all of your social medias. And it's one of the biggest reasons why I really believe that the universe has came together. Of course, you're talented and you've earned it all, but even came together to say Sierra needs a platform because Sierra got some shit that needs to be heard. And I mean, so much further than just business. You put up so much great content about business, but I went way farther on that than I was like, can we talk about that for a minute? And I went way deep, but
no, I appreciate you offering your platform, even for me to be able to voice my opinion and hopefully add some value to everyone who's watching. Because I'm huge on that. I'm a big giver because so many people have given to me and helped me. I'm where I am today because of all the people around me, because of the way that my fiance pours into me, because of the way that my coaches. I'm sure you guys saw the interview a couple of weeks ago with Ashley Gunther. She's one of my coaches who pours into me every single day. So the people who are around me are the reason why I'm able to have the platform that I have. And so I just want you guys to know that it's not just me. Every time you see me post or put something online, it's not just me, it's everyone who's been backing me. So again, I appreciate you for offering your platform for me to voice my opinion and give some value.
I love it, Sierra. So do anything else that you want people to know regarding utilizing business credit, or even just, you know what, let's stop for a second. Everybody who has ever felt, I want y'all to drop this in the comments. If you have ever felt like you are less than because of your skin color, because of your age, because of your gender, because of fill in the blank, I want you to drop in the comments right now that you're going to let go of that. We're going to let go of that today.
Yes.
We're going to break those chains. We're going to come through that ceiling. In the comments, we're all going to make a commitment right now to ourselves, to each other, that we are no longer going to let anybody outside of ourselves tell us what our capability is. Not our family, not our friends, not the news, not the politicians. We are going to be hyper accountable for everything that we do. Drop that in the comments. Sierra, while they're doing that, you got anything that I may have skipped on our business credit, business building, lines of credit, maybe even the ways that you've helped some businesses be able to get credit, or the way that you could help people out here? Do you have any? I just want to open mic you for a second.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing that I do want to make sure that you guys leave and take away with is knowing the difference between business credit and business financing, because sometimes we will get them confused and we'll have unrealistic expectations. So when it comes to getting a business loan or a business true line of credit from a bank, things like that, that's always going to require some type of credit, collateral, or cash flow. If you're looking for business credit, that's going to be in the form of vendor credit, supply store credit, retail credit, fleet credit, so like your gas cards, and then some revolving credit cards, so that cash credit. That is credit that you can build under your EIN, and then of course some auto financing and leasing too. But it's really important to have those realistic expectations, because sometimes we'll see advertisements saying, hey, come get, $100,000, no personal guarantee, first day in business. And people will go and pay thousands and thousands of dollars for these services to realize that that's just not true. So we want to have realistic expectations, and also know that the more that you spend on your business credit, the more that you'll have access to. Meaning if you only spend $500 a month on your credit, a bank's not going to give you $50,000 because they don't feel like you need it. So make sure that you are actually utilizing the credit that you do have in order to increase your potential credit in the future.
So good. Are y'all taking notes? I hope y'all took notes. But let me tell you one thing. We got Linda letting it go. Nicholas letting it go.
Yes.
Harley letting it go. Melinda letting it go. I love that. I love you guys. Thanks for inspiring my group today, Sierra. And last thing, if anybody wants to find you because they need help, you actually help business owners do everything that you're talking about. So if you took notes and by the end of those notes, you've decided my mind is blown, I don't know where to start, you can contact Sierra. She can also help you find access to lines of credit or business funding that may be able to benefit your business, and then be able to consult you through those choices. So where do people reach out to you for that?
Yeah, so my website is sierranicoleofficial.com, or you can find me here on Facebook under Sierra Nicole. I have a personal and a business page. I'm on YouTube under Sierra Nicole TV, and then also, of course, TikTok, Sierra Nicole Official. I post lots of business credit tips on there as well. And then Instagram, _Sierra Nicole. So really any platform, if you type in Sierra Nicole, I'm usually one of the first ones that pop up.
Of course she is. Of course she is. Thank you so much, Sierra. And y'all reach out to her, connect with her, follow her. Even if you don't need services right now, follow her. Her content is always amazing, and she's always dropping just free value like this. She shows up consistently every single day and is always showing up with value on one topic or another. So thanks so much for your time this morning, Sierra. And I look forward to everything I know that you're going to continue to grow into. Like that's the great thing about her is she's so young and she's literally barely getting started. That's what blows my mind about it. So I appreciate you being here this morning with me.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And thank you everyone who is tuning in. And I appreciate all of you, everyone who's going to be watching the replay. I appreciate you too. And thank you again, Kimba.
Yes, and last thing, if you caught this live, let us know. If you catch the replay, let us know. And we will be talking to you guys soon. Bye-bye.